Hello, it's me. It's Caroline Parker. I'm on your phone again, or your TV, or wherever you're watching this. But I heard you guys like podcasts, but I know that you're a nosy bitch like I am. So I thought we'd do it where you can see me and we can go to my friends' houses and see the home that makes their family. And we're also going to put their tea making skills to the test, because I have been telling you for years now, say it with me, don't touch it. Don't think about thinking about touching it, okay? It gets more beautiful every time I come to this house, Olivia. Go on, make us a cuppa. Do you actually? I have something else because I'm actually traumatised from moving from the US to the UK.
Oh, you've got your
How
big
small
mugs, don't you?
your mugs are. So
Wow.
I've got my own babe.
Quite a mug.
Look at
I'll
that.
try not to ruin your cup of tea this time.
You made it half full.
It's just never good enough for you. You know what I never get out of my head? Every single time I make a cup of tea, I put it in and I go, don't touch it. Don't think about touching it.
Well, that actually started because when I lived in the US and I would go to like a normal cafe or diner or whatever, like an IHOP, I loved an IHOP because I love the pancakes. But they would give you all of your stuff and they would like throw it all in.
Am I filling this all the way
Yeah,
out?
but it's all the way out.
Surely not. Do
Yeah,
I need
no.
2 tea bags?
But this is PG tips, so
Right.
they do really well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Up we go. Ooh.
Yeah. So in the US, they just kind of like throw it all in together and then you literally get your tea when it's like, it kind of looks grey. So at this point, I don't think people realise you've got to wait.
So
it's
you
like,
add
don't-
your milk in now?
No.
No, in America they do.
Yeah.
And it's wrong. Okay. It's wrong.
So leave it. Leave it now. So why have you done yours half full? It is a
this
big
still
mug,
not enough?
fine. I would put it higher.
Did you chat to any other mums on the school run with your rollers in?
I forgot I had them in and she was like talking to the top of my head. And then I had to be like, oh, sorry, darling. Ignore me. But I feel like they are just used to my shit. Are you trolling me though? Do you actually put oat milk in your tea?
Yeah, I hate dairy milk. I can't drink it. I'll drink.
So who drinks
eat
the dairy
cheese.
milk?
Martin.
I do actually normally squeeze it and I got told off by people online that you're not meant to squeeze your tea. Because apparently it makes
And
it bitter.
you do this. So who?
Wait, I
why
always
do
put it in
people
the
put their
sink.
tea bags in the sink.
I
'Cause
always-
You've done this at my house before as well.
I always
And
put
I
it in
come
the
back
sink.
and think, why do people put
Sure,
tea bags in the sink?
people have commented on my videos, why do British people always put it in their
How
sink?
do you think it gets from the sink to the bin? Because then you have to pick it up.
Yeah, and do you know what's really annoying is
That's
it
a bit
stains
feral.
it stains my sink, so
Oh,
I
it's
have to like
feral.
bleach it. Yeah, it's quite. When you say it, I've never like said it out loud. Ah, cheers. I actually haven't seen you in so long because you were in Manchester.
Oh yes, I was away in Manchester for a month.
I know, longer than a month. Wasn't it 5 weeks?
Yeah, 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Why have I got in my head that was 5 weeks? Was it last year that 5 weeks? Was it longer this time?
No, last year was 3 weeks. This year was 4 weeks.
Oh wow.
On my own
I
summer
know.
parenting.
You stayed in that lovely cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do.
It was
Bose
just
therapy
weird being
there.
there on my own with him. With being
I
on
actually
my
don't
own
know how you
there.
did it.
Yeah, it was weird.
I
being
was
on
so
my own.
stimulating.
Yeah, it was just a lot having to be in charge of 2 small humans constantly in
Yeah.
a weird place.
It's not your
Like when you're
place.
at home, you kind of have your processes, you know where everything is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was just on edge.
Honestly, you were texting us and you were like, I feel really overstimulated, I feel really bad. And all of us were like, I don't know how you're doing it. I would literally combust. I would
Yeah.
combust. It was horrendous.
Yeah, it was a lot.
But yeah,
It was
but it's
nice.
so
I feel
funny.
like when I got home, I just felt the biggest wave
Relief.
of relief coming
Yeah.
over me.
Getting into your own bed. It's like going on holiday,
Oh
getting into your own bed.
my god.
You
I
melt.
was on Amazon, like looking if I could buy a Tempur, or not a Tempur,
To take
a memory foam mattress topper to put on the bed in the rental house because once you get
It's
used
not
to
your
memory
bed, yeah.
foam-
Did you take your own pillows?
No, should have done. Yeah, it's hard.
Next time.
It's hard out
We should
there.
do it again next year.
I think so, yeah.
Well, we'll do some research on your
Yeah,
mattresses
yeah.
and taking your pillow.
Yeah, I will.
Oh my god, you have to put it on top of your car. Imagine driving up north.
I would.
Yeah, I totally would. Up north. But many say that Manchester's not up north.
I've heard this.
Yeah.
See, I would see anything above
Birmingham.
the M25.
Like Watford.
The north. It's north. No, I'm. See, I would call myself a southerner.
I would as
But then
well.
we've got
We
friends
have a
from the
friend
north.
who wouldn't call us southern.
Yeah.
They say that only like Cornwall is southern.
Yeah.
But I would call us
So
southern.
I would say London's pretty safely southern. Anything
Yeah.
above Birmingham is the north.
Anything above Birmingham's
Yeah.
the north. And then Birmingham's
Then you've
Midlands.
got the Midlands.
Wow. Cheers, babes.
Cheers.
These are actually massive.
It's my head.
Cheers. I have just realised as well how rude of me. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, so I am Olivia, 29-year-old mum of 2. I've got a 2.5-year-old and an 8-month-old. Live in London with my fiance. Yeah.
I can't believe she's 8 months old. I feel like you've just had her.
know.
It's gone so quickly.
I keep calling myself postpartum and then I realise,
No,
hang
you
on
are.
a sec.
You're postpartum for 2 years. I'm postpartum too.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that gives me.
Gives you time.
Yeah, gives me some time.
You are probably my most relaxed friend, so I'm so glad that I'm doing this first one with you. You are very what one calls type B.
Type B,
Yeah.
through and through. Yeah, we're not the same.
We're definitely not the same. We are so not the same. I'm not into it, but like, I know people will ask. I'm a Virgo.
Right.
What's yours?
See, I don't feel like I've ever resonated with my star sign that much. I'm meant to be a Capricorn.
But you're not firm.
No, see,
You're
I think
so
I'm quite
relaxed.
go with the flow.
Very
There are
with the
things
flow.
that I care about, I choose to care about, and everything else I feel like if it's not going to affect me in a week,
Yeah,
then
why care?
I really don't care.
You made me laugh once. You actually sent onto our group, you sent the Dancing Through Life, the Wicked song,
Oh, yeah.
onto our
Yeah.
onto our group, and you were like, "This is me, just dancing through life." And you're like, "Why care when you don't have to?"
I think
It
it's an
was you.
easier way to live. Just
I need a bit of you, and perhaps you need a bit of me.
perhaps.
Your unorganisation
There would be
sometimes.
things that helped.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll say things, and I'm like, "How do you not have that structured with an Excel spreadsheet?"
Yeah, I should probably start writing a list.
Yeah. We actually had one very funny incident between you and me. Do you remember?
You're
You
going
were-
to say the car parking incident, aren't you?
Guys, it was unhinged. Do you want to say your version of it?
So we're going to an event. I was pregnant, so I drove.
You were like
us.
37 weeks.
Yeah.
You were very
my
pregnant.
last night out, and I parked us around the
Sure.
restaurant.
Yeah.
And so we leave the restaurant at the end of the night, and we start going to look for my car, and I couldn't remember where I parked it because obviously I just parked it and walked out of the car and into the restaurant, and we're like roaming the streets of London, and
You
were
were
going,
like, you went, "Oh, I thought I dropped a pin. I guess I didn't. It's okay, it will show up." You're 37 weeks pregnant, massive. I've got like, I must have been at work something during the day, so I had all these bags. And you were walking around the streets of London, you're going, "I think it's maybe round here."
like, we'll find it somewhere. We'll just take the street.
It was, at this point, I was like, me and this girl are the same. I would have cried.
And then when we got back, I had a parking ticket because
Yes.
I'd parked on a yellow and thought it would be fine because it was nighttime. But no,
Apparently not.
They were out there
London
looking for you.
parking, they'll get you. Yeah.
I'll get you.
But what's really nice is that because you are so relaxed, and this is called Don't Touch It, there must be things that, grind your gears a bit, that get
Yeah.
you annoyed. So what's yours?
I am going to say what's been on my mind at the moment
Yeah.
is, as I said, I just feel like I had a kid maybe a few months ago,
Yesterday.
years ago.
Yeah.
I was 26 and pregnant, and now I'm 29, and I'm thinking about where my kids are going to be going to school
Yeah.
and where we're going to live. And we want to kind of be in the place that we're going to be for our whole life when Bo, my oldest, starts school. And so we've just moved into this amazing house that we renovated ourselves, and we're already having to think about where we're going to live, where we're
For
going to
school.
move for schools.
Yeah.
Catchment areas.
Yeah. It really dictates where you're going to live, because you have to
Yeah.
think about the school. And obviously you want your kid to be in a nice school, in a nice area, can you walk to it, like all these
Yeah.
things. And it really dictates now this part of your life where you've never had to do that
I've
before.
got an image in my head of like the idyllic, like walking to school
Everyone
and
scoots.
knowing
Scoots.
they scoot.
Yeah.
Having
Kids
like a
make them
mum
scoot.
community around you because they all live near you.
You want to go to the playground after school. Things like that. Yeah. I have that. It's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously Sophie's in school.
Sophie's in
So-
school. Yeah. So a lot of the time you're at the playground afterwards. You are wanting to move out of London, and you're
I
on a
think
bit of a
so.
journey with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing quite
We've
a funny
been-
series on your TikTok.
Yeah, we've been doing every weekend. We're going to go to a new Surrey town,
Yeah.
experience the town, go for a coffee.
Because you get the vibes.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially off a high street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're kind of thinking about where we will go. We've got our deadline of end of next year to apply for schools, which
Yeah.
seems wild considering Bo is 2.5.
And especially selling in the UK takes so much longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so you actually have to start thinking about that now, even though it's like, it does seem crazy you do that. But in the USA, to sell a house, well, we lived in quite like wanted areas, hot areas, especially military areas, because we were ex-military. You find a house, you move in 30 days later.
Oh, really?
Could you actually imagine that?
Yeah, see, our last sale took about 6 months.
Which apparently everyone keeps saying, that's quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kyle actually would live in like the middle of nowhere.
Would he?
Yeah.
How far would you go?
Nowhere.
You're a Surrey girl,
I have to
aren't you?
walk.
You'll always be in Surrey.
Yeah, and I have to walk to a shop. I can't think of getting in a car and having to go get stuff.
But that's normal in America, isn't it? To be able to have to drive.
Yeah.
Because I like being able to walk to a corner shop, ideally a cafe that has nice oat milk.
Guys,
No
I actually
calves in
just
here.
smelt her tea, and it smells like horse food.
Get out of it.
Yeah.
It does
Whereas
not.
mine smells like tea.
Wait, let me smell yours. See, that smells like milk.
Yeah, but yours smells like oats, and to me, horses.
Right.
I don't mind a sort of I think that's a mum thing, not minding slightly colder tea.
Yeah, see, that's I think that defines the season of motherhood. Drinking cold teas. You know that poem about, or whatever it is, about, it's like daddy's porridge was too hot, baby's porridge was just right, and mummy's was cold, and I have never...
Stop.
Yeah, it's the most
The
accurate
reality
thing,
of that.
honestly.
Oh my god! And we were told that as kids, as in like, ha ha ha. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's
They knew what
actually
they
insane.
They knew what they were doing.
Wow. I'm shook. That's actually so true.
Have you not thought about it before?
Never in my life have I thought about that. But I have to say, it's the same as like when you read things to your children now. So like I don't know if it's a big book in the UK, but in America we had this book about a fish.
The rainbow fish.
I actually
See, I love this book.
I hate it.
Martin loves to read it to the kids, and then I saw all this stuff online about how it's teaching your children, because it's all about a fish.
Why would you give away your sparkle?
Giving away their shimmery golden, whatever they
Fins,
are.
like
Scales.
And they're left with only one scale.
Yeah.
Nah, mate.
But then it's teaching your kids to share their brightness, isn't it?
But why?
There's a lot you've got to think about.
I don't know. I suppose you can look at it from different angles. But when I read it, I was a bit like, I see it as like that fish is losing its sparkle in order to please other people when you shouldn't have to.
Right.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the same as like teaching children to be nice to everyone. You have to like everyone. You actually don't have to like everyone. You can just stay away from them.
So do you think about the lessons that you're going to instill in your children?
Yeah, because Kyle...
Because that is something I do care about. Like, that is like one of my most important things, is like I want them to be kind and grateful.
Yeah.
And that's what matters, and everything else.
But there's also things like...
They could be eating their food off the floor, and that doesn't bother me.
Well, no, I do. I'm a little bit more relaxed than Kyle. Like, I would let the kids like mix their cereal, and like if they want to eat out of a certain bowl, like whatever. Like there's certain things like whatevers. But like Kyle actually said to Sophie yesterday, like, oh, don't eat the seeds, it will grow a tree in your belly. I went, no, Kyle, we're not doing that. And he was like, what? And I said, because I actually remember as a child, I'd lie in bed that night and think that a bushel was growing in my stomach. And I was like, I actually don't want to put that trauma on my children.
See, I thought I wouldn't do that. And you know, there's that whole thing around the things that the parent that you think you're going to be,
and the parent,
you are.
Yeah, like iPads.
I thought I would never tell them false truths, and now I need Bo to brush his teeth, so I'm going to tell him that his teeth are going to fall out.
I mean,
if he
they
doesn't brush
technically
them.
will.
They
That's
will.
all right.
I needed to clean his ears. I told him that a tree would grow out of his ears if he didn't
No,
let me clean
stop.
it. Yeah.
A tree would grow out.
Did he let me clean his ear? He did. It
That would
works.
traumatise me. When he's older, that's going to be what he's going to tell his therapist. I'm getting trees coming out of my ears. Actually bringing it back to the house thing, because I think like we just completely went off on one there. We are actually sat where it used to be the garden of this house.
Yes.
It was actually insane what this house was before.
Yeah, so it was, I would say, barely livable before.
It was not livable.
We've
You wouldn't have been able
always-
to move
no,
in
you
here.
couldn't
No,
live in it.
stop.
We have always said, you know that phrase, buy like the cheapest house on the street? We did it once before, and we renovated a flat and then sold that, and then we did the same thing. This house was literally falling apart, and then we're lucky that my partner is an electrician. Yeah, so
You've got lights everywhere.
got friends that kind of helped him do it.
Yeah, like he would do a bit of work for them, they would do a bit of work for you,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Love
But
Martin.
you are thinking pretty much of you finished your flat, like almost the day you finished your flat, you were like, let's move. You have just finished this.
Yeah.
When I was here last, there were some like wires coming out, and you've just finished, and now you're thinking about moving again.
Yeah. Well, we're thinking, because we've got to think far ahead to like school application time. So we're thinking like end of next year. So we've got like a good year and a half, but I think it takes that long to suss out where you want to go. At the moment, we can't stay here because eventually we're going to need more space for the kids. I'm still working on having a third child at some point.
I know, poor Martin.
Poor Martin.
Poor Martin.
So
that's like the story of like, how does he actually deal with you being so relaxed? Because I don't think he's as relaxed.
No, I think I drive him a bit insane. He's had to lower his standards. And his cleanliness standards, no, but it's a constant battle. He is
tidy.
Yeah, he's on my back. I'm tidy.
Does he let the kids eat off the floor?
No, see, he has more pride. He has more pride in the children's outfits than I do.
Bo is one of the most extremely well-dressed kids I've ever seen in my life.
He's cute.
Bo is so well-dressed.
Top to toe Zara kids at the moment. Okay, so it's my turn to ask you, what is your don't touch it?
Well, obviously not moving for a while. That's one of them. But I'm also, 'tis the season, my friends. It's golf season. And what's really hard is that my son, who's just turned 3, also into golf. But I'm gonna say men having hobbies just in general.
I'm with you.
While you were in Manchester, Martin took up a hobby.
So while I'm away, I was away for my son's therapy for a month. Martin clearly got so bored without us that he decided to become a runner. And the first weekend we get back, we're there supporting him at a half marathon.
But at least with running, his only equipment is like running shoes and his human body.
That's true.
Yeah. See, the thing is with golf, is there's a lot of beats. Okay, so I'm like, oh my gosh, Father's Day. What does one want for Father's Day? The list of golf, everything is golf related.
Really?
Christmas, everything golf related.
And it's expensive as well, isn't it?
So expensive.
Well, they want the nice
I was like,
ones.
oh babe, let me get you a golf bag. Like £1,000.
Really?
Because he wants like a leather one.
Right, well that's Kyle, isn't it? Come on.
Yeah, but they are expensive. Like, I didn't realise how expensive like golf clubs were. And also the privilege that Kyle gets to just leave the house to just go and play golf. And I now know that they don't just go play golf. Sometimes they have to warm up at the driving range.
And then
they have to have
beers afterwards.
The beers.
That's the thing I don't think they understand is the privilege that it is to just leave the house as an individual person.
Yeah.
For us to do that, I don't know.
I think
disconnect. Women can kind of fall into the trap of taking on all of the mental load of what needs to happen for me to leave the house.
Yeah.
You know, preparing the kids' meals and having everything ready and then leaving your husband a list, which actually we've gotten so much better at, but you have to consciously not fall into that trap of doing that. And
like even for this today, I was like, right, I'm going to wake up. Can you please do the kids' breakfast? But of course, the night before, I've set out their clothes so that they're all going to school or camp or whatever, or nursery, in the correct clothing.
Yeah.
Not that Kyle wouldn't be doing it, but I just know that he would be more stressed, whereas I don't think that would go both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Kyle is going for a week.
Oh, see, this is the problem. They have
trips. The trips that come along with said hobby. He's going away for a whole week to Canada. And look, my husband moved to England for me.
Yeah.
But he's not going to America. United States. He's going to Canada with the friends though. But I just feel like what a privilege. But I have to say, what is good though is he doesn't do cycling, because cycling is bikes.
Yeah.
And they can't leave their bikes outside. They have to bring their bikes inside.
Right.
So the amount of friends I go to their houses and they've got bicycles
not on the walls.
on
Not
the
on the walls. I knew you were going to say that.
You walk in the hallway and there's just a bike on the wall.
I feel
babe.
personally really sorry for any woman who has to
deal with the bikes.
Deal with that. You know, though, I do think having a hobby, I would rather Martin did these things and had hobbies than didn't, because
it does get them
they
out
need
the house,
more,
so
like men
a
in
nice
general,
balance.
even like little boys, they need more physical. They need to be more physical to then be calmer when they're actually home.
What's your hobby?
I go to the odd Pilates class. I've just gone into reformer Pilates.
Really?
I'm trying to go once a week, but I go during my childcare, like the days that Bo's in nursery.
And also you think about getting the kids into creche and getting the kids into nursery. So it's
thing
like
is,
different.
so Martin will always offer to me, like last weekend, he was like, right, you can go to a class today. You need to go do something for you.
Oh, thank you, Martin.
And I didn't take him up on the offer, and he's like, well, I try, because then I'm like, oh no, it's our weekend together. I want to spend it together.
Whereas if you said you want to go for a run, I'd be like, so you.
Well, probably.
If I said to Kyle, do you want to go to the driving range tonight? He's actually tomorrow, he's going for a moonlight. I don't know what fucking light.
Wow.
Some kind of light. Golf with his mate. And he was like, right, I'm going to do it tomorrow night. Is that okay? And I'm like, I don't know why you're asking me because you've already said yes.
Yeah.
Like, whereas I wouldn't say yes before asking.
Right.
That's
Oh,
a lie.
really?
No,
See,
that's actually a lie. I
Martin
just
would
lied.
have to ask. I think he'd be...
I didn't ask. We're going away for a night. Our group chat.
Oh, yeah.
What's the saying? Like when the group chat finally gets out of the
Yes.
chat, we're going to do a spa night, and I actually put it into the diary.
Did you? Just without asking? I did
Without
that.
asking.
I went, Olivia out.
And it came up on his phone, and he was like, "Sorry, what is this?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, going for a massage, aren't I, with the girls?"
The girls.
But
we deserve it. We deserve that.
we do, and also in our group, there's a lot of women, and we're all mums. It's not often that one of us aren't pregnant or breastfeeding.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're going to be able to stay up late.
Oh my God.
Not be like, oh, I have to go to bed at 6.
No,
I'm so
I mean, I'll be making the most of my
car.
sleep when I'm there. I'll be like, right, girls, this is my night. I'm not getting woken up by a child tonight. I'm going to
Very
make
true.
the
But
most of it.
We could stay up late and then
Sleep in.
in.
A lion. What is that?
In my house, even if I try and sleep in, the dog's in my bed. Charlie will not have breakfast with Kyle. I've got Charlie like trying to drag me out of bed. Sophie going, Mum, you should be out of bed now. And
Sophie says that?
Yeah, she should be out of bed. This morning she goes, oh, I love your eyeshadow. And then she coughed in my face. And I'm like, God, I can't get a moment, guys. And then she leant in. She's like, can I see your eyes? Yeah, girls. I was like, great.
the
Thank you
glamour.
so much,
Motherhood.
darling. Thank you. But yeah, my don't touch is men having hobbies. I think that's my one. I think, and with going into the summer, the hobbies are
Yeah.
on top.
Well,
right
Martin's, well, it is a hobby, but he is in a wedding band. So
Which are very good.
Yeah.
Really good.
But it is also his job, but he does also love it. So it means a lot of the weekends he'll be out for both Friday, Saturday night.
Martin's got 2 hobbies.
And golf. He plays golf as well. He's recently got into
Martin's
golf.
got
You
3
know what?
hobbies.
Do any 18-year-old boys play golf? Everyone that likes golf, they find this hobby
Later
in life once they've had children.
Mm,
And
so,
don't tell me that's not an excuse
someone
to get out of the
actually
house.
said to Kyle, we were at like a barbecue, and they said to Kyle, oh, I really want to get into golf. And Kyle actually turned around and said, I don't think you should. Because it
Really?
takes away too much time from your family. The way...
But he's too far in now, is he?
He's
So-
too far in. He's too far
Well, at least
in.
he's getting Charlie in so he can take
Yeah.
Charlie away. If he can take, like, if the husband can take
Right.
your children away for the
Bo
hobby as
can't
well.
run with Martin.
Perfect.
Would
Saturday morning,
Martin run with a pram?
you go and do your hobbies together. He would.
Yeah. There you go. You need to get a running pram.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he... See you later. Look, Martin, I think you should go on a run. Here,
So
take
then
the child.
I would encourage the hobby. I'll get a lion.
Yeah, but I have 3 children. So he will take
Wouldn't
Charlie
fit
to
in a
play
pram.
golf.
Have one in the baby carrier on the front.
She's getting a bit big for the baby carrier, which is really sad.
That is a sad day,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's really, really sad because I love the baby carriers and also they're like fashion.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's really sad for me. He only does it after the kids go to bed, but Carl plays Xbox.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, that's the worst
It's
one.
the worst
no,
one.
No.
No.
But so what do you do in your evenings? Do you watch your show in the evening and then he goes plays Xbox? Or does he...
We had to really establish this, and I actually think this is a really good advice. When you are dating someone, you must establish boundaries before you have children, because otherwise men take the piss. And not even that they take the piss, they just don't realise that it's a problem. But like Kyle is not allowed to play, not allowed, that's a bit... We have set a boundary that Kyle cannot...
No, you do mean that though.
I do mean it, I do.
You do mean
Kyle's
that.
not allowed to play Xbox until the kids go to sleep. Because I don't want my children to actually see gaming. Because
Yeah.
some of it can be quite violent.
I think that's fair enough, but then
Yeah.
is he staying up late and then complaining in the morning when he's tired and
A
not
little
getting
bit.
up with the kids?
No, do you know what he'll do? Is he'll act really tired. And then I'll be like, we shouldn't have stayed up till 1 in the morning. He's like, oh no, he won't say he's tired. He'll just sort of like doze off. And I'm like, we shouldn't have stayed up. And he's like, I'm not tired. I don't know what you're talking about. Just resting my eyes. And I'm like, fucking hell, mate. I wish I could rest my eyes.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. When we were
gaming.
dating, I would text him. Oh no, when we had just had Sophie, I would text him and he wouldn't answer. And he was like, well, I've got my headphones on. I was like, mate, you're not Steve Jobs, okay? You need to be available to your family, okay? So now he has to wear... We have set a boundary that he should put on his Apple Watch so that he can hear it vibrate.
Okay.
Because otherwise, what if I need help with the children? You've just gone into this completely different universe.
Yeah.
But he does speak to his like military friends that he
Right,
would
so
have
this is
deployed with.
no. This is what they say.
I
and
know,
don't
he's
know
got
if I
so many
believe it.
layers.
It's social.
Yeah.
They're like doing it with their friends. No, you're
Yeah.
talking about like. Are you going to be talking about things that are actually going on in your life, or are you talking about like
Some
what
of it's quite violent.
person you're going to shoot in your game.
Yeah, and also some of the games, they don't hear you. They can't hear the other person until after they've shot you or something. Yeah, but then...
So we're not touching that.
Yeah, we're not touching video. Actually, that is a big not touching. I actually don't agree with video games.
Will you let the children play them?
No. So I am really excited about this bit. We have asked some viewers to send in their dilemmas, their don't touch it's. I have not seen these, so we're going in blind with these. I am very, very, very excited. I think these...
Yeah, this is fun.
Isn't this fun?
What are they going to ask?
Yeah.
Let's see.
So we also need your opinions as well, guys, if you have an opinion on the opinions. Caroline, my thing I am not touching is mum group chats. We're in a group chat.
Mum group chats. Wait, what do they say?
I don't know what it is, but they drive me mad, and I feel like there is so much judgment on there. Help. Get out of that group chat.
Yeah, I think if it's bringing negativity to
Never
your
have
day,
any negativity in your day.
leave the group. Or no, don't leave it. You can just
Mute it and then archive.
Off you go.
Yeah, you'll find your people.
Yeah, I agree.
My thing I'm not touching is date nights. Okay. I just don't touch my husband at all anymore.
Oh.
Any advice on trying to get back into date nights from a mystery listener?
You know what? We have had this. We've been talking about this recently. Lila's 8 months old, and I breastfeed her. I've got Bo, my 2.5-year-old, on me as well all day. The last thing I want at the end of the day is to just even just hug Martin, and you get to the point where you just don't want anyone to touch you.
Coming off what you're saying is, instead of doing a date night, having a date day. Because you wake up in the morning, perhaps you have childcare during the day or a grandma or something. Yeah. And that in itself is privilege because not everyone I didn't have that in America. Yeah. And you actually have the day together and then perhaps they come home and you do their dinner and stuff. Well, and then you have more time together.
I think, I think as a mum, to even want to give any energy to your partner, to want to touch them, to hug them, you have had to have had time to yourself.
Yes,
to fill up your own cup.
Yes.
If you've not been given a break from the kids all day,
you've got nothing
the last thing you want, you've got nothing to give. And actually, even if you did book in a date night and you got childcare, it's going to get to that date night and you're not going to want to go. Yeah. Because you've got nothing left to give. Yeah. So I think making sure you have some time, the best thing they can give you is some time to yourself, and then you're going to want to give some time to them, and then you can think about scheduling and date nights. But it also doesn't have to be a big date night out.
You could do it at home. It can
just be at home.
Yeah,
even
watching telly.
We've got a new thing where we're going to have 2 nights a week where we're not on our phones, which we're both self-employed, we're both working in the evenings. Put your phone down, and actually, even if it's just making dinner and watching a show together.
Yeah. If you speak to anyone who's been married for a really long time, this is the hardest bit. Like, I have a 5, 3 and 1-year-old. Your marriage is probably not the most important thing right now, in my opinion. I think your children and their livelihood and getting by and you surviving as a human is more important. And with marriage being a marathon, which is such a cliche saying, but it really is true. Yeah. There's going to be ups and downs, and I think it is really important to remember that you do not have to have these flamboyant nights. Sitting down and watching telly, what you guys are doing and what we do, is just as equal in its amazingness.
I agree. And also just acknowledging that it is a season of your life.
It's
the season of life where you've got small children. It's okay. It doesn't mean something is wrong in your relationship. It doesn't mean, you might be looking around and your friends are doing all these things with their partners. That's okay. Yeah. And just ride it out and just know that, just even when it's those small glances across the room, just you're in it together. Yeah. You're in the thick of it for now.
My don't touch it is people using my charger. I don't care if you're on 2%, it's my charger. Am I a psychopath?
I'm going to say...
Yes, you are.
You may have something you need to work on.
I agree. Who cares?
Maybe that's me not caring that much.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
It's not that deep.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite phases.
Using your stuff.
It's not
just return it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm assuming this person's in an office situation.
Yeah.
I think just returning things.
Yeah.
I think people,
don't let them take the piss.
Look, I wouldn't call you a psychopath, but maybe we need to learn to share. Yeah. Okay, my don't touch it is soft play areas. Am I too old for a soft play? Do I just not get it? I feel like a bad mum, but it makes me want to peel my skin off.
You know what? So I know you love. I'll let you talk about how much you love soft plays. One of your reasons for moving back to England
was a soft play.
The fact you could go to soft play, because they're not such a thing in America, are they?
No, it's just, and also if they are, they're more like indoor playrooms. So it's more like structured wooden things. and you're tend to be like with your kids when you go around.
Right.
Where it would be like colouring things, and like we had a really great one, but there wasn't that many around, so they were packed.
Yeah.
Like on a bank holiday or something.
So it's made you appreciate them.
It's made me really
more.
appreciate them
having
being
a place
at home.
you can go. It's fenced in. I can
And
so
it's soft.
see the appeal. It's soft. Your kids aren't going to hurt yourselves.
Sometimes
Sometimes
you
you
do
need somewhere
see
for your
some-
kids to just run.
But some kids
But
are
you
a
know
bit
what?
gross.
So
Like
I
the
think-
bogies and stuff.
When when Bo got to about 6 months old, I got really excited about the fact that I could go to soft plays. So I went to a lot, and now I find that I actually rather go to just an enclosed space that's not necessarily made for kids. They're overstimulating. I'm with you. Your kids always get germs, and actually just taking them to like an enclosed field.
Oh.
That's not a specific child place. I have a good time as well. And it doesn't just have to be about your kids having fun. Yeah.
I think this is a personality thing.
Yeah.
I think like some people just don't like them, and I think that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think you're a bad mum. I just think sometimes they are gross.
Yeah.
You know? Why do I have to know about people running the Hackney Half? Why do I have to know about it? Sincerely Anonymous.
Well-
that is the half marathon.
Yeah, see, it was
This brings
all
you to
over. It was
Martin.
all over my Instagram stories.
Is that the one Martin did or no?
No, he did the Wimbledon half,
Oh.
but the Hackney half seems to be one people do post about a lot. Maybe they're proud of their achievements,
Yeah. Do you
and
know?
people like to have a thing
Yeah,
they do.
the hobbies.
That's their hobby, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just not really. I don't know. I'm on a different side of TikTok, maybe.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not like around people who run.
What do you do? What's your hobby?
I knit.
You knit? Oh, you do
Yeah,
knit. Yeah.
I knit. I like to turn my phone off and I sit on the sofa and I knit. And actually, I've just got Sophie into knitting. My daughter's
that's
5
sweet.
and she asked me for a knitting. I have to say though, it is quite frustrating because obviously I want to do it particular. And she'll like drop a stitch. I'm like, no, but I have to. I'm gonna
So
have to
drop
just
a
let her do
stitch.
it.
Is that a knitting term?
Yeah, it's a knitting.
And
term.
what do you knit?
Well, I've just got back into it recently. It's a new hobby. Well, I used to do it as a child. My mum used to
Yeah.
knit, and then I was like, recently, Kyle was like, you need something in the evenings to calm you down. And I actually can't watch TV. I can't sit still. So I can't watch TV. So as a kid, my mum had me doing tapestries.
Oh.
Yeah. So then Kyle was like, why don't you knit again? So then I started knitting. So I just finished a blanket, and I've got a jumper, which is like 100% wool. So I'm not going to be able to wear it because it's warm now.
Yeah.
But it is England, so
That's nice though.
I'm sure it'll be cold
I've
again
seen
soon.
that women get into like watercolour painting. Have you seen people do that?
My best friend Helen does watercolouring and she also colours.
See, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
soothing. And that's
Yeah.
something that takes you away from everything else.
You can buy adult colouring books.
Oh, yeah. See, this is what I
Yeah.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
Adult
yeah,
colouring books. Yeah.
That was really fun. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, that
That
was,
was
fun.
really fun. I really enjoyed that because I love hearing how, because obviously we're really different. So a lot of
Yeah.
times when we say things, we're like, oh, do you know what actually
But
my
also,
favourite?
I like to feel like, you know what, we're all going through the
Same
same
thing.
things.
Yeah.
We're all living the same. We're
We
all living
might
the
not
same
have
lives.
the same life, but we all have very similar experiences through
Yeah.
life, I think. So it's actually, I love that, guys. I would love to hear your opinions on anything that me and Olivia have just done, because I feel like everyone does do things differently. But most importantly, if you have a don't touch it dilemma, you can write it in the comment section below or email don'ttouchit@carolineparker.com. Send us all your secrets, like we love them. And if you email them to me, they're a lot more anonymous. And I feel like, you know, it's more fun.
Yeah.
It has been my first episode and I'm so grateful that it was you. You are honestly the first person that I was like, I have to do this with Olivia, because first of all, our house is stunning, and also we chat. Like, this is just normal for
Yeah.
us.
We could chat for days.
Literally days. That was so exciting. We have finished episode 1 and you can catch me monthly. Can we take any guesses on who my guests are going to be? Guest or guests? Who knows? See ya!